Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have back here with us Corrado De Gasperis. Corrado is CEO of Comstock Mining. Comstock Mining can be traded as LODE on the New York Stock Exchange. Thanks, Corrado, for being here with us today.
Always a pleasure, Jeb. Thank you.
Corrado, this week has been a very important week. You were invited to ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Talk to us about some of the key shareholders of Comstock Mining and the greater awareness you are getting from the investment in community.
Certainly, it was very rewarding, to be invited by the exchange to ring the opening bell. It was also rewarding to have some of our key investors, show up and support us there. I mean, we really have spent a great amount of time building the company, but sometimes overlooked is the fact that you have investors like Solus Asset Management, Gabelli, Master Gold, Sun Valley, Master Gold, even folks like Frank Holmes and Ralph Aldis down at U.S. Global Investors, paying attention to our company investing. So we feel honored, we feel proud. And it was rewarding, to have that acknowledgement, in the capital markets, with, of course, New York being the world leader.
Corrado, we've seen institutions increasing their position in Comstock Mining. What do you think these top managers in the world find so compelling in this story?
Well, I believe, and certainly in today's world, if someone doesn't have some component of their portfolio in hard assets, and we think the best hard asset is gold and silver validated in the ground. So the first thing is that we have over 3 million gold equivalent ounces really validated in the last 2 years on a tiny, tiny fraction of an entire district that we own and control. I think that's one of the most compelling. But in today's world, I don't think that's enough. I think there's a lot of good resources out there, but there's not a lot of good companies that are in production and demonstrating the clear ramp up. We have achieved our initial objective, which was constrained only by our permit to get to a 20,000 ounce run rate this year. We did that, and it allowed us to pay our debt off early, so we have a strong balance sheet. But I think even more compelling is that we're about 6 weeks away from doubling that production with just one modification to one permit that we'll get in September. I think that drops our cost structure down to below and well below $800 an ounce to produce, and I think that's compelling. Even more than that is the ability to grow that production exponentially. From that point, I don't mean that to be an exaggerated statement. I mean, we're literally looking at going from 30 to 40,000 ounces per annum with a great cost structure to up to and beyond 150,000 ounces per annum with multiple channels to do that. I mean, we're adding the Dayton Mine to the equation. We commenced permitting activities on that this week. We're adding the Shoot Zone, which was a bonanza-like discovery in the Lucerne area in terms of a conceptual underground mine to the planning process. And we're building a district-wide plan rather than just focusing on one starter mine. And that, I would say, is what's most compelling. The fact simply that we have strong production and cash flow growth coupled by an incredibly long runway in terms of resource growth. It's impossible for us to estimate the ultimate, ounce potential of the entire district.
Let's review the Q2 highlights. We're seeing some impressive revenue growth.
We had, in the second quarter, we doubled the amount of ounces that we produced from the immediate prior quarter. We almost tripled the amount of silver that was produced, which was sort of a little bit of a positive surprise there, not to us, but the growth in silver production was outstanding. We have about 10 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold in our resource on average. And so the leach maturity on the silver picked up, and it was quite exciting. And that got us to the level that you and I just spoke, 400 ounces a week, 20,000 ounces a year. Very exciting. But it will be doubling post-September when we get modified for that last permit. Those numbers will double.
As we conclude, Corrado, one of the things that's really hot in the mining sector and a concern for many of the majors is which companies will have free cash flow. Talk to us about Comstock Mining and some of the goals over the next few quarters to start producing this positive free cash flow and how that will help develop the company.
Yeah, it's always been our strategy, from day one to initiate production and establish cash flow early on, even if it wasn't the ultimate mine plan or the ultimate district plan. I think one of the things we have gotten positive feedback from is our ability to scale more quickly into positive cash flow. So from our perspective, we look to turn positive here in the second half of the year, and I think that'll translate to actual, full positive earnings, by the first quarter, of the year. So we're setting ourselves up not only for self-funding, which is always exciting in this industry, but for pretty extraordinary period-on-period comparisons, even with the ramp-ups that we're experiencing now in 2013. 2014 will be significantly better, both in terms of revenue and cost performance. I think, though, a footnote to all of that is that we're sitting in a mature, production-based district, and what that has translated to us has been a very, very low capital cost. The mining industry has typically higher capital needs, and our facility and our infrastructure is in place. So we are looking very much forward to the free cash flow, not only providing total sustainability for us, but then allowing us to get back into exploration and development growth for, I think, one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting, geological districts in the country.
Well, Corrado, congratulations on ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange this week, and thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you, Jeb. Have a great day and a great weekend. God bless.